Oh, right, yeah, part two of Patrice on Bennington. Yeah, let's go.
Who they are. I'm at this level, Patrice, so I can now, like, when I was here, I didn't talk to you, but now Comedy Central has put me here. Now I'm here with you. No, you're not. I don't care if God gave you a deal where you get half the world. You ain't me. I told my girl that one time. I bought my girls diamonds and shit.
Straight in.
I buy my girls diamonds. I get my girl nice stuff, man. And she went, ooh, I'm blinging bigger than you. And I go, you couldn't bling bigger than me if I bought you a diamond hat.
Right. Not even that.
Blinging is here.
Right. Not even with a big shiny diamond hat.
Not would you be better than me? And that's what I'm saying. It's just like the thing that gets you is that you have to fight not to be bitter.
So what is it though, Patrice? What's keeping you from getting the place in comedy you think you should be?
And that's the thing I gotta fight, Ron, is where I should be. Because I don't deserve or supposed to get anything. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the journey I'm on, and whatever happens, man, happens. I mean, I got a mortgage I want to pay, but still, that means to anything, and I'm going by what other people say to me. You know, people respect me as a comic. As a person, they respect me, but they might not like me. What I am is this, and this is what makes, I grew up in Boston, people know that. White guys, and I learned this, dude, I had a probation officer, white guys are uncomfortable with black man's anger. Black anger, especially from 6'4", 300 pounds.
Did you think that this was going to be breaking in, or we had no idea?
What do you mean, like
that we're afraid of 6'4", 300 pounds? Black guys?
Not now, though, Ron. Like, not now, because there's a context to my existence.
Right.
But growing up, when you walk into an office, dude, and there's this little dude that you'd never talked to in your life. Mm-hmm. Like, here's what I hate, and a couple of people did it here. Why do I have to be nice to you at 6 in the morning if that's not what I do? If you go, hi, listen, and I just want to give you a little bit of, why don't you really, let's build up. Because if you start here and go, hello, it's going to go down from there.
Right.
So start off with how are you? And I'm good, how are you? Listen, I'm such and such. Do you want to talk about this now, or you want to talk about it later, because we're going to have to talk about it? But just find a way to deal with people in some honest. I'm not passive aggressive, but I understand what passive aggressive is. It makes me sick because I'm aggressive. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's what to say why I might not be where I think I should be in terms of my peers, because I'm peers with Dane Cook, I'm peers with Carlos, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think less people know me, but the core.
Right.
There's a core comedy base that goes, Patrice is in there with that.
But aren't those guys just one move? Wasn't one spark thing to tip them, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, I respect Dane, but I'm not selling the drug he's selling. I respect Carlos, I ain't selling the drug he's selling. I cannot sell what I'm selling to 20-year-old college girls and 18-year-old high school kids. I can't. I just ain't selling that. I'm going to offend people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't want those people to come out and go, I see you on Web Junk. You're going to be great. And I'm like, look, calling my girl a bitch.
Right.
You know, I'm racist. I'm racist against black people. I'm racist against white people. I do a lot of stuff that's like, you know, this is not funny. This is not fun. This is not. This is just, I don't know. What's he doing? And then I'm like, Mom, get the fuck out. I don't want you here anyway. So it ended up being this many people at the show by the end of the show.
Right.
But it'll be part of my 100,000 that I'm trying to.
Yeah, right.
You know. So it's maybe it's a misunderstanding, but I take a lot of blame for a lot of stuff wrong.
Right. You know, in your heart, though, I mean, that you're not going to end up on lunch boxes, even though some of your peers will.
Right now, people don't understand, dude. There is to any women in here, there is a quiet, underground, weird man movement going on where guys are getting fed up, dude. I mean, talking to dudes, it's a weird anger. And what the anger is, it's almost like how, like being a white guy, it's tough because no one wants to hear your problems. You have to be, for a white guy to say you have problems and I listen to it, it has to be a passion, it has to be well thought out and well said. It can't be like, what about me? I'm a white guy. Be like, yeah, all right, whatever. That's how women see guys now, to me. And guys feel how they feel. You know what I mean? And we gotta I'm figuring out a way to try to say what I feel. You know what I mean? And I think right now, dude, I'm really a fighter for everything that's anti-now, you know, anti...
It's crazy how old this is and what he's talking about and basically predicting. He's predicting, which probably would have been a better thing if it was under Patrice. But what he's predicting is what Andrew Tate rode the wave of and how Andrew Tate rose to fame. But also what I was thinking, he was talking about Dane, what's his name, and Carlos, what's his name, who Joe Rogan went at. I do know of them two, but I don't really know anything like really of their comedy. But that's what I mean. They were like very famous then, I'm pretty sure. And he's talking about being peers with them when in actuality Louis C.K. is probably one of the biggest comedians now, and him and like he loved Patrice. Bill Burr, obviously, and even to say, I mean, I don't know whether Bill Burr's character from Star Wars makes a lunchbox, but Bill Burr is Disney now. Like he's in the Disney world. Like, so what? This is kind of weird listening to because, yeah, what Patrice is talking about is the well, you see it. The shows where some guy has like loads of hot OnlyFans girls on and talks shit to them or whatever. Basically, yeah. Just shows how dumb they are. But like, yeah, you see what he's talking about and actually got his ear in tune, and that probably that movement would have been a lot better, yeah, if it was Patrice. But yeah.
Political correctness of what's happening today.
I didn't even want to say that because it's almost bigger than that. It's almost like any dude that says the word inappropriate makes me sick. Any man who lives that mantra, that was inappropriate. That's just like you sell out. You just sold everything, dude, down the river. I'm trying to let the world understand that there's a place, there's a group, there's a mindset, and not just men, everything. White guys, you know, that learn how to say, look, I feel this way. Or you know, gay people, where I'm going, my thing about gay people is like, look, why do I have to respect that you sleep with the same person, the same genre, the same gender? Don't make me respect you because of that. I'm not. What's your platform? Like, get out of my face, man. Do what you want to do.
Right.
I don't care. But don't say, I have these rights. Because what? Why?
So everybody should be able to say whatever they want.
Whatever they want, whenever they want. And that's what my big thing on Fox was with black folks is like, why people ain't the oppressor no more? It's almost like we need a new platform. We need a new thing. Like, I think we're getting lazy. We did the 60s. We got hoes. We came through that. And now and we just want to attack anybody that, nigga, get him. Like, I don't even know what that means, like, anymore. I think, you know, Malcolm X and anybody else who fought for those times, a million names, but it's like, we could do better. Like,
well, I mean, Pryor is a guy who turned his back on that word and said, I'll never use it again. Paul Mooney.
Because of his own personal, what it meant to him when he went down there and he saw. Now, when I listen to Pryor say that, now, I watch Africa. First of all, I don't look at Africans and go, they're us.
Right. Not feeling that.
I'm not feeling. He stopped calling saying the word nigga because he went to Africa and had a moment.
Right.
If I ever go to Africa and have a moment, that may happen.
Right.
But I haven't had a moment. I know Africans that don't like black Americans. Africans don't look at rap and go, look what we did. You know what I'm saying? Those people, the Americans, they don't like us. They see what I believe this to be, and I don't even have it all fully, so it could come out crazy. But I think black people are adaptations of Africans. Africans ain't even Africans no more. The Africans that we trying to get back to, that we're here, the kings and queens, they don't even have those in Africa no more. Bunch of dictators and thieves and little 10-year-olds with AK-47s, that's what I see. I'm sure there's a Garden of Eden somewhere that they don't show on Fox. But what I see is like...
On this subject of Africa, I see a meme, someone shared a meme. It was obviously a black person's YouTube channel, but they shared like a meme picture, and it said like what Hollywood movies show Africa to be versus what Africa actually is. And like one was like a dusty desert, and the other one was these big, great buildings and that. And it's like, no, the dusty desert thing doesn't come from Hollywood movies. It comes from charity adverts. Basically, all that meme is saying is, oh, all right, I'll cancel me standing orders. Everyone's got standing orders for Africa and these different charities. Yeah, that just comes out your bank every month. All that picture's gonna do is make all like, and it's like you're someone who's living in America, commenting on Africa. Well, I don't know whether that person had been there or not, but there are nice parts of Africa. Africa isn't a country; it's a continent. There are nice places, but there are also horrendous places. Like, yeah, I thought that just made me laugh.
And the attitude here when they selling Oakleys outside and they don't like me, you know? So my thing is I believe that we are a brand new species and we're learning how to be that. And while we're learning how to be that, we should shut the fuck up. We should shut up and learn how to be us. Then we could come challenge white people. White people fine with them. Like y'all are fine being white people, fine being white people. Black people, our entire existence is based on how we relate to white folks. I hate that shit. Because I don't look at white people like my oppressor, dude. You could be smarter. I listen to you. I'm like, God damn, that motherfucker's smart. And I go, I don't think I'm as learned as you, but I don't feel inferior. I'm like, tell me something. I don't try to, you don't see me on Fox trying to make sure I go, see, and the constriction of the situation, because I don't have access to that many words in the dictionary. So I'm doing me.
Right.
I have an opinion. I never respect people who read something and then repeat it back to me. Like, that's intelligence. I like somebody that takes what they read and then they come up with some abstract thought of their own. That's impressive. Being informed is not impressive to me. I can tell you, well, you didn't hear what happened in Uganda? Nope, not really, nigga, because I had trouble, paying my car note.
Yeah, probably as a comedian, what he's talking about there is where people like you're talking about an overall and probably a comedian has a better understanding of that than anybody to have the ear to people, because obviously you go out and say things to make people laugh and you can read. Do you know what I mean? But you can read things, know things, but there's still no application or any further thought behind the fact that this thing happened, where you're not reading like the vibe of the time and the people. And probably as a comedian you are way more tuned into people's kind of vibe than the average person is.
I heard what happened to Chris Benoit because I'm a wrestling fan. I'm not a Ugandan fan, so I don't look out for Ugandans. Whatever. It is what it is.
I got to agree with you there. Everything you said. Now, you brought up Chris Benoit. You worked for the WWE for a while, right?
Yeah, very short, but it was fun because I love wrestling, man. I still love it. It's still like almost having if you're a Whitney Houston fan, And from time to time, you'll just look and just to see if she's coming back, because you remember how wonderful she was, and then you kind of, come on, Whitney, you got it today? No? That's me in wrestling now.
Right, you always look back.
Every Monday I go, come on, baby, come on. Is it this? No, he's shaving his head. All right.
But, I mean, being backstage is an amazing place.
Dude,
there.
it was amazing, but, you know, like, you meet some people, and you like, wow. Like, you meet, they're good guys, like The Rock. I met The Rock, and I'm like, this dude was nicer than he should have been. Like, it was weird. Rock should have been an ass, but he was just too nice. It always made me uncomfortable. Like, I was like, dude, you know, don't be this nice, because it's almost strange. You should be over there. Like, Stone Cold was a little bit, oh, don't come near me. And I'm like, that's...
That's funny, because Chris Cornell says that about the Queen. It must have been the Royal Variety performance thing, I guess. But he performed whatever song of his. And obviously anybody that performs, you meet the Queen afterwards. But yeah, it was something Chris Cornell said. I was, in that part of the book, I was interested to hear what his take on meeting the Queen was. And that's something he said. He's like, she was just polite to everybody. And he's like, it made me think, she actually doesn't have to be. She is the Queen. And she can basically just be dismissive and be like, and there's nothing really anybody can do. He's like, but she wasn't. She was perfectly polite. She spent time, and he's like, and you actually like feel like she's. But then that's what her job is, basically, is to talk to people and have them feel like she's, approachable and whatever when she does meetings. But I was surprised Chris Cornell took that thing, because the Royals aren't necessarily, people aren't the biggest fans of them over here, but yeah.
I like it, dude. Yeah. You know, Undertaker, nice guy, da-da-da. But my thing was just being at Vince McMahon's house and just his presence, dude. I've had a man crush on 3 dudes where I went, you know, 3.
Right.
1, Michael Jordan, because I used to work at Boston Garden selling peanuts and popcorn and stuff. Michael Jordan, just awe-inspiring dude. Just something about him was magic. Like, God damn, I want to be that dude. Larry Bird, he just, something about him just was like, that's Larry Bird, man. That dude, what is he? And Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon, I was awestruck by this dude. The one thing I took away from him, just being in his presence, he never made you feel stupid for saying something. You would say, what about this? What about if Rikishi wore a big sombrero and then he juggled, and then a midget came down with a stick? He would go, no, I don't think that would work. And he would tell you why it wouldn't work, and you'd be like, all right, cool, but your whole like creative juice is like, oh man, he didn't make me feel like an ass for that. And then you'll say something eventually after 10 that works, and you use it, and you're like, oh. And that dude, it was amazing, man. That dude, I love that dude. And I bet you I only loved him because of those 3-4 days I was there. I got in and out. And that's what I like to do for people that I respect. I don't like to meet them. Never met George Carlin. Don't want to meet him. Glad I never met Pryor, because I don't want to be disappointed.
Right.
I don't want dude to not be who I think they are. Yeah. Now, I've met some dudes where I go, ugh. And I don't even like them as comics because I met them as a person. You suck. I was going to let all that stuff you did that I knew was hypocritical pass because I didn't really know you. Now I know you. Stink.
Right.
But Vince lived up to what he was for those couple of days I was there, and I got out of there. You know, I got right out of there, man. And I was happy. That's one of those 5.
One of the 5.
England, just that little stint on the WWF.
Right.
HBO special. I think my Fox thing with that lady was one of my...
You enjoyed that?
I did. I think I came across... I was blessed that night in terms of, you know, everything came together. My mind was sharp. I did the right thing not to make her look like a little white woman and like I was swooping in on her. And I think I was intelligent. I think I was funny. I think I proved my point. And I think I got I changed some minds, you know what I mean? Because my agenda was funny. Your agenda is not funny, sweetie. Your agenda is women. And your agenda is women that don't need your help. You know, if you're being specific, you know what I mean? It's like Condoleezza and the president's wife, you know, they got the men in black to go take care of business. They don't need you to go, women in this country? Nah, yo, nah, nope.
You don't know the fifth?
I don't know the fifth yet.
I'll give you the fifth for me is knocking that diamond hat off her goddamn head. That was my favorite thing that happened. By far. Hey, if you could, you know, get that wish, where would you like to be if it's 5 years from now? I know, and honestly, sitting here talking to you, I honestly see you as a guy doing more than just making people laugh. I see that the truth matters to you a lot.
Yeah, I was thinking that then, like, that thing, hearing him say he enjoyed that Fox, because we did that ages ago. I think it was one of the first Patrice things I ever done, was that him debating that woman. But that's kind of like what you think of where Patrice is kind of in his element, where he's battling ideas and yeah.
And I know that you're on your own kind of path here, but what kind of payback would be fair?
Compensation for 15 years?
Yes.
Just straight compensation? Give me 20 mil.
So
20 mil would be good compensation, dude.
It isn't so much what happens, but as long as you end up with 20 million.
20 mil, dude. Just a payoff. Just 20 mil. And
could we get you to just walk away with that 20 mil?
I would. Let me tell you something, dude.
Yeah.
I would do a lot of. Now I'll be a emotional philanthropist. I wouldn't give away my 20 mil because I wouldn't have any more. I would go around and just champion people who just need somebody to talk shit to somebody. Special interest groups, just, you know, advertisers. I would just be annoying. Because then I wouldn't have anything to lose. I'll have it hidden, and I'll keep it in the mattress, too, just in case, you know.
So you'll walk the earth like a comedic kung fu. Just spreading good cheer wherever you have to go.
If I could get famous enough to sell out this place, Ron, everywhere I go, and just people know that they getting ready to go have a, you know, good time. Somebody might walk out, somebody might, but they just going to get some weird feeling out of it, like, oh, man, that was awful, but it was great. It was something. Like, you know, just... You know, that's why there's no great comics. You know, there hasn't been a Pryor or a Carlin in terms of his relevance since them.
Now, nobody else has impressed you since those two guys?
Not one relevant dude. And I'm not, money-wise, there's some big-time dudes. Like, I mean, I think Larry Sanders is the best show that ever existed, personally. But, yeah, relevant in terms of entertainment factor, but... No social conscience, no social commentary.
But you think, if you look back, when Carlin was at his peak doing his stuff, wasn't the majority of the country digging him? And the same with Pryor. When Pryor was doing some of his greatest stuff, the country was liking Bill Cosby.
Right.
You know, so a lot of times we have to wait for years later to go, oh, now I get it.
That dude.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that man.
And again... you can't try.
And I think Patrice was that type of genius, to be fair. It wasn't until after, until years later, to be honest, where people really kind of appreciated him. Yeah.
Be that dude, but it's like, I don't mind. This was a comedy club, and it was just everybody, more people were here and stuff, and this was my show. I don't mind this much silence at the comedy show.
Right.
I don't care. Once in a while, some good laughter, and then the rest is me pontificating about nothing.
See, that's exactly what we're trying to do here, because I'll tell you the truth, Patrice, and I'm not sure if your whole audience gets it, but I do think that you're onto something. I do think that you have things to say besides the jokes.
It's tough. It's like, you know, I think I'm not impressed with making it. Like, I don't, but at the same time, Ron, I don't want to be no martyr either. I hate when people, I'd rather some people come up to me and go, you suck, other than going, you're the best comic I've ever seen. And then I dig my pockets, I go, really? Really? Who's some of the worst you ever seen? Famous, bitch, famous, they all suck. Really? Well, they all got money. That's the thing keeping me, that's my struggle.
Right.
is, all right, I'm just going to do it for the money. Because my mother, everybody wants me to do it for the money. Don't. My mother gets all like slavey, man. Because she grew up in the 60s, 70s. So she's like, don't make them mad. Don't do that. Don't say that. Don't go on Fox TV and say those things. And you don't do that. And I'm like, Moms, who are you? Who are you? That's because she's a general. She done did it. Mm-hmm. She's done. She don't have it in her no more. And that's what I'm hoping is that I don't get to that point where I'm just done and I'm done. And I'm like, I don't have no more fight. You gotta fight. Like, again, my girl now, she's just relentless. We're gonna get married. But she's not relentless saying it to me because she knows me. So she just figures out another way how she's gonna do it. She puts her email as VonO'Neal.com. Because she uses what I say against. I go, look, if you love me enough to feel like you're married to me, then be married. I'm not married to you. So she says, okay, Von O'Neal. She tells people we're married. And after a while, it makes me feel stupid to go, we're not married. So I let her have it. But that's the beat down that you get. And that's the dichotomy in my life. I'm like, okay. So sometimes I go, oh, wait a minute. I open my trunk and I see the old pimp card, and I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta dust this off. It's still got a month for expiration. I gotta fix that. And that's the same thing with the business. As soon as it's like, all right, I'll go and do Celebrity Fit Club. I'll let the guy that looks like Louis Gossett tell me I ain't shit, scream at me. I'm almost 40. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. Basically, what he's describing as well is where Bill Burr is now, I think. But I also think with Bill Burr is that he wants one foot still in edgy. Like, he wants to be edgy, but he wants the money of the Disney contract. And yeah, and that's a dangerous line. Because it does seem to be when you step into that world, they're just waiting for you to say something. Look at Kevin Hart. Who said that? Was it Dave Chappelle or Cat Williams? He said Kevin Hart was 2 tweets away from being perfect. He's like, but he got the Oscars job, and obviously the Oscars and the kind of the big deal that is, you then reach a different level of fame, and then you better not have nothing that they're going to challenge you on, or they can use against you. And yeah, Kevin Hart found that out from 2 tweets that he wrote 10, 15 years before or whatever. They like, yeah. And that's what I mean, like, Kevin Hart is the most unoffensive, but yeah, I can't imagine Patrice going into that world. And maybe even if he wanted to, it'd be like a bit like at the end of Extras with Ricky Gervais's character, where he starts going through that. The whole time he's like, I don't want to make a stupid comedy sitcom. I want to make something that's meaningful. Ends up making a shitcom. They actually call it that, shitcom, in the series. But yeah, then he's like, I'm not going on Big Brother, Celebrity Big Brother, and none of them things. And then he's on all of them. And then he's in the Big Brother house, and he's like, oh, I'm done. And he just walks off. But yeah, I could see Patrice maybe doing that, getting to a point where he's like, all right, I'll do it. But yeah, he's too true to himself, which that's not a good thing to be if you want to go into Hollywood. He's too open to ideas and too open to saying controversial things. Like, things that people can just take out of context, and that's what the world is. It's an out of context world. Everything's taken out of context, and everything's, yeah. But yeah, like I say, Patrice on Anthony's network would have been, I think, where he went, at least for that first period, until like podcasts really become. To be honest, the podcast world, it was made for Patrice. That is where if he'd have just lived a few more years, all he would have needed, like Bill Burr, just get a microphone, run into the mic and put it up online and see if people listen or not. Like, that would be perfect for Patrice. But yeah, that's part 2 anyway. Sweet.